Liam, have you ever trusted someone so deeply only to feel like they ripped the ground from under your feet?
Yes, Emily. It's one of the most painful experiences a person can go through when someone you trusted betrays you.
It's not just heartbreak, it's betrayal trauma, and it leaves scars that no one else can see.
You lose trust in people, but even worse, you lose trust in yourself.
You question everything. Was it my fault? Did I miss the signs? Can I ever trust again?
And sometimes the betrayal comes from those closest to you, a partner, a family member, even a best friend.
Today's episode is going to be one of the realest conversations we've had because betrayal trauma can feel invisible, but you are not alone.
We'll walk with you through the pain, unpack what betrayal trauma really is, and show you how to begin the healing step by step.
So, if you've ever felt broken, confused, or abandoned, please stay with us because healing is possible and you don't have to do it alone.
Let's get into it.
Liam, let's begin by understanding why is betrayal trauma so painful compared to other kinds of emotional pain?
Because betrayal hits where we feel safest, our relationships. It's not just losing someone, it's losing the person you believed you could trust with your heart.
Yes, it creates a deep emotional shock. And the worst part is, you didn't see it coming. You gave your time, your heart, your love, and in return, you got lies, cheating, manipulation, or even silence.
That kind of pain goes deep. It's not just about the person who hurt you, it becomes a story about you. Why me? Was I not enough?
Exactly. And that's what makes betrayal trauma so complicated. It can lead to anxiety, overthinking, anger, depression, or numbness. Some people even develop PTSD from it.
And the worst part? People around you might not understand. They say, just move on, or you're overreacting, not realizing it's a deep trauma.
Right. That's why we're doing this episode today, to bring light to something people often suffer with in silence.
If you're listening right now and you're feeling pain, confusion, or stuck in a loop of what happened, know this. Your pain is valid, and you're not crazy. You're experiencing a real emotional injury.
And like any injury, it can heal. It takes time, effort, and the right support, but healing is possible.
So stay with us as we walk through this journey together. You've already taken the first step, listening and seeking understanding.
Let's explore what betrayal trauma really is and why it lingers so you can finally begin to release it. Liam, let's talk about what betrayal really feels like because it's more than just being hurt. It can change how you see the world.
Exactly, Emily. When someone breaks your trust, you don't just lose them, you can lose your sense of safety and stability.
Yes, betrayal trauma often shows up in ways we don't expect. You might feel constant anxiety like you're walking on eggshells, even when nothing is wrong.
Or suddenly, you become hyper aware of people's actions. Every message feels suspicious. Every delay feels like rejection.
You overthink everything. What did they mean by that? Why didn't they reply? Am I being used again?
And it can affect future relationships too. You might pull away emotionally, even from good people, because you fear getting hurt again.
Or you stay in unhealthy situations because you don't trust yourself to leave. You feel stuck.
And then there's guilt. You think, I should have known, or maybe it was my fault.
But let's be clear, betrayal is never your fault. When someone lies, cheats, or deceives, that's their decision, not your failure.
Yes, but still, it leaves behind emotional damage, loss of sleep, loss of focus, loss of joy.
And sometimes you're not even sure what's wrong. You just feel numb, tired, angry, like you're carrying something heavy every single day.
That's the invisible pain of betrayal trauma. It's not just in your memories, it's in your habits, your relationships, and even your body.
And that's why understanding it matters. Because once you see how it shows up, you can begin to heal it. Lamb, people often ask, why can't I just move on? Why does betrayal feel so intense and long lasting?
That's a powerful question, Emily. The truth is, betrayal doesn't just hurt your heart, it confuses your brain. It breaks your mental safety system.
Yes, when we trust someone deeply, like a partner, friend, or family member, our brain says, this person is safe. Our nervous system relaxes around them.
But when that person betrays us, the system crashes. It's like emotional whiplash.
Exactly. Your brain starts to panic. If I was wrong about them, what else am I wrong about? Can I trust anyone again? Even worse, can I trust myself again?
And that's what makes betrayal trauma so dangerous. It causes emotional injury and self-doubt. That combination is devastating.
Let's talk about the emotional causes too. Betrayal attacks your sense of identity. You feel rejected, abandoned, used.
It triggers childhood wounds sometimes too. Maybe you had past experiences where you felt unwanted or unloved. Betrayal brings all that back.
And then comes shame. You ask yourself, how could I let this happen? Was I too needy, too blind?
But betrayal trauma isn't about weakness. It's about connection being broken unfairly.
That's right. You were open, loving, loyal, and someone violated that. That's not shameful. That's human.
And the brain, being so protective, starts creating fear patterns. You might shut down, stop trusting, or avoid people altogether.
But once you understand these causes, you realize you're not crazy. Your brain and heart are responding exactly how they should after trauma.
And that's the first step toward healing, understanding that your pain has a reason. It makes sense.
Exactly. From here, we can start talking about how to rebuild trust, confidence, and emotional safety. When someone is betrayed, the first thing they want is answers. But the first thing they actually need is emotional distance to breathe again.
Yes, because when you're in the middle of betrayal trauma, your brain is in fight, flight, or freeze mode. You're not thinking clearly. You're surviving.
That's why the first step is to step away. Not always physically, but definitely emotionally. You need a safe space where your heart can begin to settle down.
And that means creating boundaries, even if it's hard. Limit contact with the person who hurt you. Or, if they're gone, limit your mental replay of the situation.
Exactly. Give your nervous system time to calm. Take a walk, journal, cry, rest. Whatever helps you feel safe again in your own body.
And you don't need permission to do that. You don't need to explain it to anyone. You deserve space to heal.
This is your recovery zone. Even a small routine like morning tea, soft music, or reading an inspiring quote can begin to create safety again.
You're teaching your body that you are in control now, that the betrayal happened to you, but it does not define you.
And remember, emotional distance doesn't mean you hate the person who hurt you. It means you love yourself enough to heal without their chaos.
And sometimes people feel guilty about taking space. But here's the truth. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It's survival.
So, listeners, ask yourself right now, what can I do today to feel safe? That small step is already healing.
This is the beginning of your comeback story. One breath, one boundary, one moment at a time.
Liam, after betrayal, people often say, I don't trust anyone anymore. But deep down, what they really mean is, I don't trust myself to choose the right people.
Yes, that's the hidden damage of betrayal. It shakes your inner compass. You begin to doubt your choices, your instincts, your worth.
That's why our second big step in healing is learning to trust yourself again, even if you feel broken right now.
So, how do we do that, Emily? How do we rebuild that lost self-trust?
One small promise at a time. Start with something tiny like, I will drink water today, or I'll take a 10-minute walk. Then keep that promise.
It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Every time you follow through on a tiny promise, you're telling your brain, I can trust myself again.
Yes, and speak kindly to yourself. Instead of saying, how did I fall for that? Say, I did my best with the love I had.
That shift changes everything because blaming yourself keeps you stuck, but forgiving yourself, that's how you grow.
Also, write things down. Your thoughts, your feelings, your red flags. Put it on paper. That's how you see your own wisdom and lessons.
Don't be afraid to say this out loud. I trust myself to heal. Even if you don't believe it fully yet, say it anyway. Your brain is always listening.
You might have lost trust in someone else, but your trust in yourself can come back stronger, deeper, wiser.
Because now you know what betrayal feels like. You've lived through the fire, and from this fire, you're becoming unshakable.
Liam, one of the biggest emotional traps after betrayal is waiting for closure.
Yes, people stay stuck because they want the other person to explain, to apologize, to make it all make sense.
But often that apology never comes. And even if it does, it rarely gives peace because closure isn't something someone gives you, it's something you create for yourself.
Absolutely. When you're betrayed, your mind starts looping. Why did they do this? Did they ever really care? Was any of it real?
And the truth is, sometimes you'll never get those answers. Sometimes people leave you with silence, confusion, and lies. And it hurts so much.
But here's the turning point. You don't need their words to heal. You need your own decision to stop chasing the why.
Yes. Instead of waiting for a message or apology or confession, you say to yourself, I don't need their permission to move on.
And you write your own closure. You say, they hurt me. It was wrong. I didn't deserve it. But I deserve to heal anyway.
One thing that helps is writing a closure letter, not to send, but to release. Say everything you wanted to say. Cry if you need to. Then let it go.
Because waiting for closure is like waiting for someone who already showed you they don't care. You owe yourself peace now, not someday.
And peace begins when you stop trying to understand them and start trying to love you.
So, listeners, let's say this together in your heart. I forgive myself for not seeing it sooner. I release the need to understand them, and I choose my own peace today.
Liam, after betrayal, people often say, I don't even know who I am anymore. And that feeling is real.
Yes, because betrayal doesn't just break your heart. It breaks the version of you that existed in that relationship.
And that's why this step is so powerful. You now have the chance to create a new identity, one that's based on your truth, not someone else's lies.
So, ask yourself, who do I want to become now? Not who I was before the betrayal, but who I can grow into because of it.
Exactly. Maybe now you're more aware, more compassionate, more protective of your boundaries.
Maybe you've learned that you're stronger than you thought, that your worth doesn't come from someone else's approval.
And this is the perfect time to start small identity shifts. Write new affirmations. I am healing. I am safe. I am worthy of loyalty. I choose peace.
Also, try new things. Change your routine. Learn a new skill. Decorate your space. Even small changes send the message, I'm creating something new.
And surround yourself with people who reflect the real you, not the broken version someone left behind.
Remember, your past is not your prison. It's your platform. From here, you get to design a stronger, wiser, more authentic version of yourself.
So, listeners, ask yourself, what kind of person am I becoming now that I've survived? Let that vision guide your next step.
You don't have to be who you were before. You get to become someone even more powerful.
Liam, healing from betrayal isn't a straight path. It's normal to have doubts, times when you wonder if you'll ever really feel okay again.
Absolutely. And sometimes you take 2 steps forward, then 1 step back. That's part of the process.
One big challenge is emotional triggers. Small things, a song, a place, even a smell, can suddenly bring all the pain rushing back.
When that happens, it's easy to feel like you're stuck again, like the healing never happened.
But here's the truth, those triggers don't mean failure, they mean you're human. Your heart is remembering what it needs to heal.
Another common obstacle is doubt. Doubting your progress, your worth, or your ability to trust again.
In those moments, remind yourself healing isn't about being perfect, it's about being persistent, showing up for yourself every day, even when it's hard.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. Talk to trusted friends, a therapist, or support groups. You're not alone.
Also, practice self compassion. Speak to yourself like you would to a close friend who's hurting.
Because setbacks don't erase progress. They're part of the journey. Lessons wrapped in discomfort.
So when you face a trigger or doubt, try this. Pause, breathe, and say, this feeling is temporary. I am stronger than this moment.
And remember, every day you keep trying, you're winning. You're healing.
Emily, let's imagine someone just felt a strong trigger. Maybe a memory popped up and they're overwhelmed. What could they say to themselves?
I'd say something like, okay, this feeling is real, but it's not permanent. I've survived this before, and I can get through it now.
That's perfect. What if they start doubting themselves, like thinking, maybe I'm never going to trust anyone again?
I'd remind them gently, trust is something I build step by step. It's okay to take small steps. I'm not alone, and I'm worth the effort.
Great. And if they want to write a closure letter but feel stuck?
I'd encourage them, write honestly, even if it feels messy. This letter isn't for anyone else. It's for your healing.
Yes. And what about rebuilding trust in yourself? What's one easy promise they could start with?
Maybe today I will take 5 deep breaths whenever I feel overwhelmed. It's small, but powerful.
Listeners, remember, healing is a journey of small steps, kind words, and patience with yourself.
Every time you practice these dialogues, you're training your mind and heart to heal.
Keep practicing. Keep believing. You're stronger than you know. Liam, let's start with the first word, closure.
Closure means a sense of peace and acceptance after a difficult experience.
Right, Emily. For example, I wrote a letter to find closure after the betrayal.
Next is trigger. A trigger is something that causes a sudden emotional reaction, often related to past pain.
Like this. The song was a trigger for her sad memories.
Our third word is setback. A setback is a problem or delay that stops progress temporarily.
For example, even though he had a setback, he kept working on his healing.
Number 4, self-compassion. This means being kind and understanding to yourself, especially when you make mistakes.
Example. Practicing self-compassion helps me stay positive during tough times.
Next, persistence. Persistence means continuing to try even when it's hard.
Like, her persistence helped her overcome betrayal trauma.
Last one, affirmation. An affirmation is a positive statement you say to yourself to build confidence.
For example, I'm worthy of love is a powerful affirmation.
Great words, Liam. Listeners, try to use these words in your daily English practice.
They will help you talk about your feelings and your healing journey better. What a journey today! We've talked about deep pain, real healing, and how to rebuild your life after betrayal.
Yes, Emily. Remember, healing takes time. It's not about rushing, but about moving forward with courage and kindness to yourself.
If you're feeling broken today, know this: you are stronger than your pain. You deserve peace, love, and trust again.
Every small step you take, whether it's a deep breath, a kind word to yourself, or setting a new boundary, is progress.
So don't give up. Keep practicing, keep believing, and keep growing.
Listeners, if this episode helped you, please subscribe to Speak English with Mishu, share it with someone who needs hope, and leave a comment to tell us your story or your favorite tip.
Your healing journey matters, and we want to support you every step of the way.
Thanks for being here with us today. Remember, your past does not define your future. You are worthy of happiness.
Take care, stay strong, and keep speaking English with confidence. See you next time.